Welcome to the Spend Advantage podcast by Verisource. Spend Advantage is the competitive advantage for your spend across 100 plus vendor categories. This podcast is all about interviewing amazing people, company, and solutions that will help you 10x your top line growth as well as bottom line savings for your business. Hello, everyone. This is Victor with Verisource. Welcome to another episode of the Spend Advantage podcast. Today, I'm excited to have Felix Sphere, Yu Chen, who is the CEO and co-founder with Felix Sphere with us. They're essentially an AI business management platform for everyone. Super excited to have you, Yu Chen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Victor. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of exciting questions for you. Obviously, we're super excited to partner with you guys. And obviously, when you talk about AI, there are just a lot of exciting topics. So if you don't mind, maybe if you can give the audience kind of a little bit of that founder and company background and story would be great.
Sure. My personal journey has always been at the intersection of business and technology. I spent years at companies like Salesforce and Zenefits, leading large-scale enterprise software projects. And we saw firsthand how companies struggle with an overload of applications. The idea of Felix Sphere really comes from those experiences. Modern businesses might use hundreds of different apps, including AI apps, right? Sometimes 400 or more in a single enterprise or company. And it's just overwhelming. People were wasting hours each week wrestling with software instead of focusing on their real work. We thought there has to be a simpler way. That's why in 2024, me and my team started Felix Sphere with a simple vision, make mastering business applications as easy as having a conversation.
Yeah, I can't wait to kind of explore what that looks like. Obviously, you and I, I'm always a very direct person. I kind of share my thoughts. Obviously, SaaS management, been around for a few years. A lot of people tried. And some are still around, but that the hotness has kind of died off. But you talk about, instead of SaaS management, you talk about business application management. What do you think is the difference between SaaS management and business application management?
Great question. Yeah. Business application management is a more holistic approach compared to standard SaaS app management. Because when we talk about the SaaS, people comes in like that is software as services, or service as softwares, AI applications, for example. We actually we manage both business application management. Traditional SaaS management, software as services platforms typically focus on tracking apps and licenses. Since like how many Zoom licenses do we have, our overspending on Slack, that's important, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. It's very IT and finance centric. We do include that. Felix Sphere gives you complete visibility into your software inventory, usage, and spend. But we go further. I think now that is half in the battle. When we say all-in-one business application management, we mean we manage entire life cycle and usage of software in the business. It ranges from discovering what apps are in use, managing access and compliance, tracking spend, optimizing cost, and crucially, helping employees, everyone in the business, actually use those applications, including AI applications, effectively day to day. We are not just an inventory of apps. We are like an assistant, work assistant that sits on top of all your apps to help you and your team get most out of them. Because I believe you purchase applications, you spend money on them, you want to get most out of them. So the big difference is a user-focused aspect. SaaS management tools might tell a CEO, well, there's a waste or risk, but they don't really direct help an employee who is stuck or confused about it. So we combine the management side of it and with real-time support and automations.
Yeah, the word you mentioned, I'm going to dig into a little bit more later. This work assistant, obviously there's so many ideas of AI assistant now, but we're going to save it. We're going to save it for, a little bit later. But one thing that I like to do is when we talk about, obviously optimization or solutions, first I want to talk about the problem. what is the problem that companies have and why is it so difficult? And then we'll talk about how we're solving it. But can you kind of describe what did you see that makes software management so difficult for most companies? Again, most companies buy software, right? They need it, they think they need it,
Yeah.
they buy it. But why is it so difficult to do software management?
Yeah, I think that's another great question. Honestly, it's difficult for a few big reasons. First is sheer volume and fragmentations. Companies today use a crazy number of applications, and even for personal use, I use like maybe dozens of applications every day. The average enterprise offers over according to our research, is 473 different apps across the business. Keeping tabs on all of those applications is a nightmare, and it's increasing. Year by year, it's increasing. So they are scattered across departments, some in the cloud, some on premises, some adopted by teams without IT knowledges. This leads to the second reason, lack of visibility and control. Often no single person or system has a full picture of what's being used and how. That has real cost. Yeah. Then there's like a human factor. Employees get overwhelmed bouncing between so many applications, and so they also keep lost, in the sea of like applications. And we're trying to provide them like a centralized approach to manage and all tier of the applications usages.
Yeah, I definitely I think those reasons you mentioned are it sounds so simple. I think it's actually kind of like I think if everybody look in their own homes, they'll see a lot of stuff that they overbought over the years and they don't even know where it is. They find these boxes. I find boxes in my storage and then I open it. I'm like, wow, I still have this thing. Like, but I just bought a new one. I didn't even know I have one. It's just, I mean, imagine now. I mean, SaaS is literally like you said. Doesn't that problem doesn't go away? But here's another interesting one that I want to get your expertise on.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of time, obviously, people leave the companies and things like that. But what companies don't realize is even when the employee leaves the company, sometimes their email, they can still log into those applications. And that's obviously a cost problem. That's obviously a security problem because you have somebody who doesn't even work for the company, but still able to use the email to get into certain tools. And so, can you talk about, um, when somebody, why is it difficult for companies when, let's say, an employee leaves the company to manage those licenses they had access to? And what are some suggestions you have to kind of solve that?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's actually one of the most common and critical blind spots we see in companies today. So when someone leaves the company, their Slack, Salesforce, or Zoom access doesn't always have, leave with them. It's not just like, cutting cost risk, but also security risk, you know. So we think, we connect directly with companies' HR system and identity providers like Google Workspace, Okta, Bamboo HR, and the moment someone's employment status change, Felix automatically begins the offboarding process, which is pre-configured, or maybe like say by using AI, Felix AI work assistant. It immediately flags and deactivates the user access across all integrated applications. And for example, if you integrate Salesforce Notion or Google emails in Salesforce in Felix Sphere platforms, and no more manual edit checklist or forgetting a tool. Yeah, and also we do not stop there, and we actually continuously audit user access across all your apps. So even if someone switched role months ago, maybe they switch from sales to marketing, or maybe if like a contractor teams, quietly expired, their term quietly expired, Felix will also catch those cases and suggest revoking their accesses or change their accesses. Think of it as like autopilot for access hedging.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Verisource is focused on savings for companies, and the number one, if in number one or number two categories that we drive savings or that most customers are interested in is software, right? It just like you said,
Yeah.
it's constant overcharging, companies coming to you and say, "Hey, I'm gonna raise 5%, 10%, and you can do nothing. All you can do is just pay for it because you need the software." It's pretty daunting for these customers, and that's why we're so excited
Yeah,
to
locking.
partner
Yeah.
with you guys. But so the next topic is where we start to get in a little bit of this AI. So walk me through. I mean,
Hmm.
AI. I think you and I talked about earlier. AI sounds nice. It sounds futuristic, but in practice, in
Hmm.
most
Hmm.
people's daily life or even companies, obviously we're still early. So meaning they still don't know how to fully utilize AI to drive value, to drive true value, to drive true productivity.
Hmm.
So, what is your kind of vision of how Felix Sphere can, uh, a different approach to the AI agent or this kind of work assistant that you talked about?
Yeah, so personally, I am a true believer of the AI can play a bigger role in the business in the near futures. Thinking about like the foundation model is progressing exponentially every day and allows so many talent people working on that day and night. And algorithms, computation powers, support resources pouring into those areas. So I do believe in the future everyone maybe have like 5 or 6, AI assistant, AI interns doing the routine works for them. So that's why AI is also at the heart of how we help customers get stuff done in Felix Sphere. We have designed Felix, our AI work assistant, to take on the repetitive or complex tasks across your software stacks. So you don't have to, right? We know that every employee in the company may have access to dozens of applications. So the experiences is intentionally as simple as having a chat with Felix. There are no clunky menus or drag and drops or workflow builders. You just describe what you want, and Felix will talk to you, trying to get your intentions and trying to clarify it and trying to test it and run it. For example, you could literally message Felix, say, "Hi, I'm board our new hair Jane." Give her access to email, Salesforce, and HR systems, Bamboo HR, Workday, and schedule her orientations. Felix understands that requests to talk to all those applications if they are integrated into the Felix Sphere in the background. And boom, accounts created, permission granted, orientation meetings is scheduled, and follow-up meetings is scheduled, all done through a single conversations. So we essentially build an AI concierge with work assistant that can handle requests and across all your applications, and it's available 24/7.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I love these kind of examples and to show where AI can really provide true value. So, I mean, why do you think most companies haven't explored? Because you have Microsoft, right? Google selling their
Mm-hmm.
co-pilots, and obviously that's still not very
Mm-hmm.
successful. Meaning, as big as Microsoft, they're having a hard time selling their AI. And why do you think? I think I've heard a lot of companies also mention they are maybe worried that agents will do something wrong and they don't know how to check it. Meaning, at least if a human does something wrong, you can kind of check it and then go talk to the human about it.
Yeah.
What do you think that causes that fear? Is it just because the technology is new, or how do we give customer the confidence that AI can do the job right to kind of get that true value?
Yeah, that's a very great questions. We know that right now, even foundational models, if you use ChatGPT or Cloud from Anthropic, they have hallucinations, right? And you keep talking to it, and maybe it doesn't respond you with the right numbers, right answers. But as we discussed, right, so they are progressing every day, and we think that it will be resolved eventually. And data and the privacy, compliance, security is a top priority for the businesses. We truly understand it. That's why, like, dealing with privacy data, and we actually have other technology help you to keep your data in your businesses. Other AI models or AI companies, they also, we actually have information about their compliance record and their security track record, and we will try to work with you. Of course, Verisource also have a lot of experiences on them as well, maybe. So we work together trying to build like a great, secure and reliable, business AI environment for every businesses. So I think, we see the companies who are using our, platforms already see a great, ROI from like make AI as IT assistant, or maybe the AI as like a knowledge expert to answer people's questions. For example, our one of our clients, Pendle Electric, measured a 50% boost in productivity and a 90% faster response to issues after they started using Felix Sphere. 50% productivity gain, just think about it, is like turning a 10-person teams into a 15-person teams in terms of output without having anyone. So any their IT issue they used to take, say, an hour to resolve, now get it handled in minutes, right? And another example, similar AI, which also one of our clients, they actually replaced their Jira Service Management with Felix AI Concierge because they saved on the licensing cost of that too, and their internal help desk tasks because far more efficient. They just talk to the AI, and AI will, just like, put out the information in a very personalized, tailored message and answer people's questions. So they don't have to ask people to do it. Of course, we see the cases that is, AI feel like, okay, this is the questions I don't have knowledge about. I don't have expertise on it. So they will create a ticket on behalf of the person who asks questions and find out the person in the company, in the department, in the team who had the best knowledge to answer it, who may be the application admins, or who has used these applications most often. Because remember, we actually have the company to monitor the usage of each application. So we know the usage pattern of different people, and in our systems can guess who may be the expert on these applications. And we have that person who asks questions find the right person to ask questions to. So IT is, really the last, result, the person will reach out to. So IT save tons of time, so they can focus on much more important tasks.
I love those examples. That goes into, I think that's a great segue into, because obviously our podcast and our entire business is about driving savings for companies and optimization. And so we talk a lot about ROI, like ultimately, if they buy Felix Sphere, like I think those examples you gave is great. Can you give me maybe one or two top use cases or ROI that you've seen? You talk about time savings, for IT. Would you say time, are there any other big kind of ROI use cases that you've seen when people maybe should think about Felix Sphere?
That's great questions as well. When we talk about ROI and in Felix Sphere to our potential customers and our existing customers, we like to look at two angles. Hard dollar savings and the productive gains, or maybe the time ROI. We deliver on both. But the quickest big win is usually cost saving. Most companies are shocked when they see how much they have overspent on softwares. Remember that I mentioned, for enterprise, softwares, for company, middle-sized company, they have maybe more than 400 applications. And there's another number like up to $80 million a year wasted in enterprise softwares in enterprise companies. That's the pool of saving we target. By using Felix Sphere along partner with Verisource, we have our customers can identify and use our underutilized licenses and eliminate that waste. So the second and sometimes even more impactful ROI is on the productivity side. The times we save people's time. Time is a ROI as well. When employees aren't bogged down by software issues and not have to relearn and trying to find the answers in across different applications, they can get a lot more done, right? So we have another number, on average, an employee spend like 9 hours trying to figure out, okay, so just searching for informations, trying to learn the applications, trying to find the people who can answer the questions about their softwares, about how to use it. 9 hours a week, imagine, nearly a full workday lost every week because knowledge is scattered. People's support is stretched thin. It's crazy. So all that context switching and hunting for data is just frustrating. So that's why, we actually also work on, boost people's productivities inside the companies. And like the two examples I elaborated, Panda Electric and similar. So those ROIs, they have seen and gained in their own business, really change their businesses, and that's why they're growing very fast. and they saved on the licensing cost of the tools, and also their internal productivities, IT productivities, HR productivities, knowledge expert activities also become far more efficient. So, in a nutshell, the ROI comes from multiple angles: direct cost, improve efficiency, and benefits like happier employees and faster, people's, pace of working.
It's no, I love what you guys are building. It's definitely unique. I think it's such a great angle and different take on SaaS management, because I feel like SaaS management is maybe version 1. And you guys are taking it to version 2, version 3 of the promise of what SaaS management was supposed to do, but didn't deliver on that promise or the complete promise. Obviously you're big on AI. You guys are implementing a lot of AI. Where do you feel like, obviously right now you're focusing on application, management and automation. When you look at the landscape of agents and, there's just so much innovation happening every single day, every single week, I can't even keep up with it. It's so crazy. Where do you, if you have to give kind of your future thoughts in the next 12 months, 24 months, where do you think this agents or, I guess also including FelixSphere is headed? What's going to be possible for companies, you think?
Okay. I hope I have a crystal ball can tell us, what
tell me the lottery number at the same time.
In the next 12 months, it looks like. Okay, I will if I get it. Okay, and by the way, I really like the idea being application management is SaaS management 2.0 or 3.0, and that's great. Comment. Yeah, so speaking like a AI agent or AI research in general, that we actually keep reading, we keep researching on different papers around foundation models, how AI can work with other AIs, how AI can work with other people's, and in those papers, in those newsletters, we see real examples from different AI companies. For example, a company called Manners AI, they actually can really make your computer work for yourselves just by talking to them. So just like over, Felix. You talk to Felix, you message Felix, and Felix trying to understand what you are trying to do and keep asking questions and trying to plan it. They have their plan agent, they have planning the whole plans for you, and then they execute it. And in the execution, they figure out which AI agent can really do this work well, and they reach out to that AI agent. And also they have a monitor AI agent trying to monitor, the works has been done by that AI agent. If it's not doing great, they will try again or maybe find another AI agent to do the same work. So we see the people actually starting booking, planning their trips first, and then they just start planning their trips maybe from USA to Paris, and then you have plan agent trying to plan the whole trip for them and trying to ask questions. Do you want me to book ticket? Do you want me to book the hotels? And they also asking about their preferences, and boom, all the plans is, it's finished. And then they have the ticket booked, flight ticket, and hotel ticket, and zoo ticket. And they know they have children, going to have a trip with them. So they book the zoo ticket for them. And also they have, it's round trip, of course, round trip tickets. So people say, "Oh wow, so you understand me and you plan it well, just like a real travel agent, like a tourist agent, and you have me finish all the works, and I don't have to do it. I just keep on telling you, and if something change in the between, they can still ask, the AI, and AI plan it and finding out the AI agent to do the specific works and change the whole plans accordingly. That's a huge, right? Think about it. If you have something that can help you to do the work in your real life, business, some AI can probably talk to you, and you want to, from simple, right? You ask the AI to come up with a report of last week works across different, marketing teams. They actually give, summarize the report and give you suggestions what you can do differently, and and starting from there, you ask AI, okay, give me share me like a plan for the next quarter marketing campaigns, and it will plan it according to the previous data, activities, and then they will ask, okay, do you want me to do more social marketings, or maybe email marketings, and different AI agent comes in and execute the works, and you have another AI monitor people in AI agent works and trying to fine tune the works they have done, and you have an army of marketing, right? So they're gonna do the works for you for the next quarter. Maybe you want to try them for the next month, but they can start working on that, and you have people along with them, and the people can also help you to manage the AI agent armies and trying to help you to have a better churn rate, or maybe not churn rate, I would say maybe like a better conversion rate of the customers from the untouched CE, right? So I would say as the technology advanced every day, and as the real examples, real feedbacks from customers in the market, and we see that as we just need the times and opportunity for the business to start trying the AI technologies, and when they start adopting more technologies, and then they starting keep giving the feedbacks to companies who working on those technologies, those applications, everything will iterate very fast, and eventually, which business adopt AI, in early stage, they maybe can gain much more advantages over others. They know what the AI can do and can do more for them, and then they know which area they can put more AI resources, or work on with AI, so they can get much more productivities at early stage.
I mean, I know you and I can always talk for hours about this topic. Yeah, I mean, you have companies that are AI companies now with 10 employees, and they're making $100 million. Part of that obviously is because they're providing AI. They're providing, like you say, this automation to some degree that automate a lot of where you had to hire a lot of people for before. And it's and also things that you're talking about, or you've been talking about the last few minutes, we thought it would happen in 5 years, 10 years. And yet, it's happening next week and the week after. And it's the pace of innovation is just so exciting. So yeah, I mean, we're super excited to partner with you guys. You guys have an amazing solution. We always have this final question, okay, that we ask our guests. You've worked at large companies, you built your own startup, you've seen a lot. If you have to give people maybe one personal or business advice that you're passionate about, what do you think that advice be?
Okay, this question is the hardest questions in this podcast session, I would say. So taking me as an example, right? So I work on different companies, on different projects. I work with a lot of talented people in the industries, and one lesson I learned from this journey so far is I always look ahead about what the future looks like and what the future really look like, and I need to do the research by my own to find out. Okay, people talking about the future, maybe they are different aspect of a future, the same future, or maybe that totally different future. So I will do research by my own, and then I will try to talk to different stakeholders who are maybe they are expert in particular areas, and I will synthesize all the informations and do the and trying to figure out, okay, what the futures look like from my perspectives, And then if the future is clear, even though there are so many challenges, you can see a lot like challenges, blockers overhead. But if you believe it, just do it. So I think it's a great opportunity to look for the futures and figure out, what you can do, and okay, what the challenges are, and trying to figure out the solutions, trying hard, maybe try your best to conquer the challenges, and eventually you will gain a lot. Maybe it's not something that you imagine that you have gained, but if you look back, you already gained a lot. You have learned a lot. You have achieved a lot. And I think that is a great journey. And you will never be regretted about the journey, the actions, the challenges, and the people, and the achievement you have been achieved and you have done. And that's a great journey. Enjoy the
I
journey.
love it. Spoken like a true entrepreneur. And super appreciative of you joining the conversation, and we're excited to partner with you guys.
Same here, Victor, and thanks for having me. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys with Verisauce, and also I'm looking forward to bring more technologies, productivities. Of course, I want to have more conversation with you guys in the products in the future. Thank you very much.
That was an amazing episode of the Spend Advantage podcast, where we show you how we can help you 10x your bottom line savings and top line growth for your business. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. And if you want to get the best deals from the guest today, make sure to send us a message at sales@verisource.com.